bringing people in, how do you identify future leaders who are, what would you look for if you were bringing in future leaders?
Yeah, great question. We do it all the time. One of the first things you need to do, I think, is you need to understand what it is you're offering. I do work with a gentleman I mentioned named Bob Mesta, who created Jobs to Be Done theory of product innovation with Clay Christensen.
Yeah.
And Bob and his little company, the Rewire Group, do some amazing work. And recently, we've been doing is looking at, in general, like positions in an organization as a product and understanding what product is required by the market. What are the jobs that this position or job is doing for people? And how do we explain that to them in their terms and change the job to meet what they need? And maybe there's 3 or 4 types of things like that. So when you're looking at those leaders, you have to be thinking along the same lines as what is the job I'm hiring them to do? And oftentimes we don't, because being a CEO especially is a mystery. It's why the best way to get a CEO job somewhere is to have failed at a CEO job somewhere else. It doesn't matter if you failed or succeeded. It matters that you held the title, because there's no one else. There's the board, but there's really no one else. And it is a mystery as to what the job is all about and how do you do it really well. And there's no manager to tell you what to do. We need to be a lot better at saying, look, here is what the job is about. Here's the kind of the key goals and outcomes. And then I think you start to look for, and my bias would be, look for some of these change capabilities. Do they have a track record of exploring over executing, or learning before knowing, or changing before protecting? Do they show an affinity for those things? And do they also have the ability to say, here's what I'm really good at, and here's what I'm not good at, and so I'm going to need to bring those people in. And the last thing is, and this is going to sound incredibly self-serving, but I'm going to say it anyway, are they willing to ask for help? I have one client I worked with who is incredibly successful. And one of the things that he did, which was challenging for him to do, but when he started with a new company, as he was starting, is going through the process, and they're doing the paperwork, that had the big search and all that, and they made the selection, negotiated all the compensation. And he said, by the way, I need to know in the budget that I've got budget for my executive coach, because I'm not coming in here without them. And a lot of people are like, oh, are you weak? You need an executive coach? But he's, no, I don't care what you think about it. This is the person who helps me think. And he was willing to say from the beginning, great, I'm glad you hired me. I think I'm great for the job. I think I'm going to just kick butt at it, which he is. But I also need help. And the humility of being able to ask for help from your own people as well, your own organization, but elsewhere, is a really, really good sign. So when I talk to people, oftentimes when I'm doing interviews for CEOs or C-level executives on behalf of a company, I will ask them tell me about some of the best help you've received lately. And if they can't come up with any, and really, I don't ask the question this way, but it's like, with the inference is, when's the last time you asked for help? And if they don't have an answer to some of the best help they've received, or it was something that clearly they didn't ask for or didn't want, I'm worried about someone who doesn't have a track record of asking for help.
That's a great insight. That's an interesting way to look at it.